Hello and welcome to this HTAi Interest Group webinar on HTAi Scholarship, Opportunities, Experiences and Challenges. As we wait a few moments for further participants to join, I will share a few slides with you about the society. HTAi membership holds many benefits, including HTAi's premier events and specialized interest group, free online access to the International Journal of Technology Assessment in Healthcare, HTAi resources and news, including newsletters, bulletins, and international developments in HTAi, full access to the HTAi Educational Officer database, an international network of HTAi experts, innovators, and influencers, a community that's dreaming, shaping, and championing the future of HTAi. For more information on our membership benefit, visit our website. HTAi interest groups are open to all members of HTAi. They act as a forum for HTAi members to share, network, exchange information, and collaborate on projects of mutual interest throughout the year. Visit our website for more information on our interest groups. The next HTAi 2025 annual meeting will take place in Buenos Aires, Argentina, from June 14 to June 18th. You can visit our website for more information about this event. We kindly ask the participant to remain muted until invited to ask questions. You can submit your question through the Q&A function of the Zoom meeting platform. Thank you again for joining us today. I will now hand over to the co-chair of the HTAi in Developing Countries Interest Group to formally welcome and introduce today's topic.
Thank you, Nicola. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on Health Technology Assessment International Scholarships, Opportunities, Experiences, and Challenges. It's a pleasure to have such a dedicated group of attendees here, all focused on advancing our shared mission of improving healthcare decision-making through rigorous evaluation and assessment. Health technology assessment has become increasingly essential in our rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, helping ensure that innovative medical technologies bring value, efficacy, and cost effectiveness to patients and healthcare systems alike. For students and professionals diving into health technology assessment, scholarships offer a gateway not only to learning, but to making significant contributions that can shape healthcare's futures. Today, we will explore not only the financial support available, but also the broader opportunities these scholarships present, from mentorship and hands-on research experience to networking with thought leaders in the field. We will also discuss the challenges scholarship recipients may encounter along the way, whether it is navigating complex study designs or balancing academic and practical demands in this rigorous discipline. As we kick off this session, let's remember that health technology assessment is more than just an academic effort. It's about real-world impact, improving patient outcomes, and ensuring healthcare resources are used wisely. I am thrilled to begin this conversation, and I encourage each of you to engage, ask questions, and take full advantage of today's discussions. Thank you for joining us, and let's look forward to an inspiring session together. First, Antonio will give details about the Health Technology Assessment International Scholarship Programs, and then Nicola will give the figures in this area. Antonio.
Thank you, Meltem. Thank you for the invitation. Welcome, everybody. My name is Antonio Migliore. I'm the manager of scientific initiatives at the HTAi Secretariat. I wanted just to spend a few minutes just to present the scholarships, the scholarship program that the HTAi is offering. We started a few years ago with one scholarship, I think it was 2017, and then we introduced a second scholarship in 2019. The scholarships are targeting specific context around the world. Next slide, please. But first, it's important to understand why we are doing it, why we are providing financial assistance to individuals to complete educational or training programs in HTAi. for applying this knowledge in their own country. We are doing because this is our mission. HTAi mission is to promote the development, communication, understanding, and use of HTAi around the world. So this is the scholarships are one of the ways in which we support this mission. Next slide, please. So basically, the two scholarships are very similar, I would say identical, but there are a few characteristics, distinguishing characteristics. The educational scholarship is dedicated to people from low and middle income countries. The deadline for submitting the application is May 1st. The Jill Sanders Memorial Scholarship is dedicated to people from African countries, and the deadline is on October 15th. There are common features, so you can find everything I'm telling now, you can find on our website, because we have a policy and procedure document for each of the scholarship that is freely downloadable from our website. So you will find all the information and all the forms that are necessary to present to submit your application. The policy has been reviewed at the beginning of this year in 2024. They will be valid for the next 2 years, but we didn't introduce major changes. We tried to clarify some definitions, but the core of the scholarships is the same. So we allocate every year. HTAi allocates 20,000 Canadian dollars per each program. So each scholarship has a budget of 20,000 Canadian dollars, that is more or less 14,000 USD. The decision on the allocation is made by the Scientific Development and Capacity Building Committee. So it's not the board or the executive committee who decides. It's a committee that is multidisciplinary and involve experts from different countries and from different stakeholder groups. And all the applications need to have an organizational sponsor. We will see this in detail in the next slide. So what are we going to support? What is the object of the request for funds? We support educational programs that can be a master or a PhD. We support fellowship. We support other kind of certification that are released by accredited institutions or internship or training program in HTAi, but also in related fields. So it could be public health or evaluation and monitoring of healthcare systems. Also, we support internship within an HTAi agency or another non-governmental organization that has a project around HTAi. The eligibility criteria for the applicant. The applicant has to be a student or employed in a health organization in low and middle income countries or African countries, depending on the scholarship. As I said before, the program can be specific to HTAi, but can be also something related to HTAi. So we are not limiting the applications, just staying within the HTAi field, but we have been a little bit flexible in including also application coming from programs in public health or epidemiology or evidence-based medicine. Of course, the applicant has to agree to complete the program and has to agree to share his or her personal and professional experience during the HTAi annual meeting. This can happen in person or virtually, depending on the modality of the annual meeting, which may change every year, and depending also on the decision of the Scientific Development and Capacity Building Committee. Also, one of the most important things that the applicant should stress in their application is their intention and willingness to apply all the knowledge and skills learned in the countries, in a low and middle income country or in an African country, according to depending on the scholarship. The organizational sponsor, as I said before, has to be an organization that has something to do with HTAi. So it can be a project or can be an agency that has the mandate, an institutional mandate around HTAi. And the applicant can be an employee or a student or just an intern. But let's go to the eligible expenses, which has been clarified in the last revision of the policy. We invite the applicants to specify in detail which kind of costs they want to cover. And this cost can include tuition fees, books and other educational material. For example, if you need to buy a laptop, this can be classified under educational material, but it's better that the applicant specify that it needs a laptop or other equipment. Accommodation or housing and travel expenses, but also general living expenses. For example, internet, food. We believed that this was appropriate because sometimes the applicants want to have the experience in another country, and the cost of living in another country can be very different from the cost in their own countries. So we support also this kind of thing. I think this was my last slide. Yes. So
yes, Antonio.
I will invite Nicola Vicari, my colleague, to give us some details in terms of figures related to the scholarship programs. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Antonio. Thank you to all of the attendees for joining this webinar. I will now, my name is Nicola Vicari. I will now introduce some figures, some numbers about the HTAi Scholarship. I'm currently the coordinator of scientific initiative in the HTAi Secretariat. And as Antonio said, these two scholarships started some years ago. We started with first with the educational scholarship, then followed by the Jill Sanders Memorial Scholarship. And here you can see some numbers, some figures related to the last 4 years of the scholarship program, divided by the two scholarships. So basically, here you can see how many countries. From how many countries we received applications for each scholarship every year. So for the HTAi Educational Scholarship, which is targeted to the low and middle income countries, you can see here how many the countries involved and the number of applications we received every year. As it is shown for the Jill Sanders Memorial Scholarship, which is targeted to the African countries. Regarding the funds assigned, as Antonio said, the programs, each scholarship has available funds for $20,000. And here you can see the results of the application, the funds allocated. For every year, we usually try to assign as much funds as possible. And here you can see not only the total funds assigned every year, but also the number of scholarships that we supported coming, and the countries of the applicants involved who received the funds. So basically, for the HTAi Educational Scholarship, we involved Brazil, Colombia, Malaysia, Peru, Jordan, and Bhutan, Malawi. And while for the Jill Sanders Memorial Scholarship, Ethiopia, Ghana, and South Africa. What kind of programs we supported in the last years? Mainly, the more than half are masters. A little portion of these programs are PhD, and a smaller part are internship or other programs like single courses on HTAi or specialization course. That's it from my side. I hope that this quick overview was useful for you. We are happy to support or answer to question, and you can write question in the Q&A function. And now I'll leave the floor again to Ezra for introducing the other speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Antonio, and thank you, Nicola, for informing us about the scholarship opportunities. And now we will go with the scholarships recipients. First, we will listen Blessing. Please welcome Blessing with a Bachelor of Pharmacy and Masters in Clinical Pharmacology. Blessing is currently a lecturer at the University of Zimbabwe. He will make the presentation titled Health Economics of Hepatitis C virus in Zimbabwe, role of HTAi Educational Scholarship.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to share my experiences during the HTAi Educational Scholarship, but to give context, I'll share it together with the reason why I applied for the scholarship. So I'll share a little bit about the health economics of HCV in Zimbabwe. So in terms of background, in Zimbabwe, liver cancers are contributing about 6.1%, and HCV is a major contributor to the liver cancers. So we do have a problem, and it is estimated that 2% of the population of HCV. But this problem is one which we can solve because we have drugs that are called directly acting antivirals that can eliminate HCV in 12 weeks. But the problem is those drugs, they cost money. So the objective of the study is to evaluate the cost effectiveness of screening and treating HCV using directly acting antivirals in Zimbabwe. So we're trying to show if the cost of the drugs is justified by the benefits that we get from treating the patients. So in terms of the studies that we did, I did 5 studies. The work that we have done, we started off by looking at the progress of elimination of viral hepatitis, a review of the policies, strategies, and challenges. So this, the main take off from that study was that there's actually a strategic plan to eliminate HCV in Zimbabwe by 2030. And in that strategic plan, HCV screening and treatment were listed as the major strategies that needs to be done. We went on further to do a cost analysis of a simplified HCV screening and treatment at a tertiary hospital in Zimbabwe, and we found out that it would cost an estimated of $2,500 to screen and treat HCV in Zimbabwe. In the also, as a way to generate the parameters to the cost effectiveness model, we also did health-related quality of life in HIV patients on antiretroviral therapy in Zimbabwe, and the mean health-related quality of life score of people with HIV in Zimbabwe was about 0.81 using the EQ5D2. Then we went on to combine these parameters and other parameters that we got from the literature to do a cost effectiveness analysis of screening and treating HCV in Zimbabwe. And we got an ISA of about 604 United States dollars against a GDP per capita of 1,592. So without an explicit cost effectiveness threshold, we adopted that as our threshold, and we found that the intervention was cost effective. Then we went on to look at how this can be applied, this information can be applied in policy, because if you do health economic evaluations evidence without applying it in an HTAi scenario, it would just be academic. So we went on to do a situational and stakeholder analysis of HTAi in Zimbabwe. Then we realized that HTAi is required in Zimbabwe from the study for transparency, and that completes the thesis. And right now, I'm actually writing the general discussion with an aim to submit at the end of November and hopefully graduate beginning of next year. So let's come back to our story of the day. So what are the challenges of HTAi education in places like Zimbabwe, where I am? The first one is lack of mentorship. We have very few local health economists that can actually mentor students. So during my PhD study, I was being mentored by supervisors that are in the UK and in the Netherlands. So we meet virtually every 2 weeks. And that has got its challenges, because sometimes you need quick help from your supervisor, and sometimes you need to see them physically to get the mentorship that is needed. The number 2 challenge that I experienced during this journey of my PhD in HTAi education is lack of awareness among policymakers, researchers. There's low appetite and uptake of HTAi-related research and actually cooperation. So one classical response that I got when I sought for regulatory ethical approval for my study was, this stuff is European stuff, doesn't have any application in our setting. Then the other one is lack of funding towards HTAi-related research, as much of the funding is dedicated to infectious diseases. So how did the HTAi Educational Scholarship help to address some of these challenges that I had? So in terms of academics, through the Educational Scholarship, I managed to do a course on distributional cost-effective analysis, which is an application of equity, an introduction of equity into the traditional cost-effective analysis, which I found to be very useful in our setting, because we do have health disparities in this area of in this geographical area. So I did that at the University of York, funded by the Educational Scholarship. Then critically, I lost my laptop to some thieves during my PhD, and that is catastrophic, and that could have been catastrophic to me. But HTAi Educational Scholarship, I got quick response and funding to get a new laptop. Then in terms of mentorship, I had a formal mentor journey that was assigned to me, but I also have here informal mentorship, because at the 2 HTAi annual meetings that I met, I managed to meet very wonderful people that offered mentorship during the meeting and even after the meeting. So I managed to establish very good relationships that can provide mentorship from the Educational Scholarship. Then lastly, it helped me with networking, invaluable networking. And I met people. It's not every day that you get to meet this lady, and she's asking you, what can I do for you in terms of getting your career on track. So this was at the last annual meeting and at the meeting dinner. And if you know this lady, and she came to my table and asked me if she can help, and that is more than that's very valuable to me in terms of networking. I thank you.
Thank you, Blessing. Rabia is also my mentor. And now, with the second speaker, I want to introduce you with Siti Mariam Mohtar. Hi, Siti. She's a pharmacist and with a Bachelor of Pharmacy and a Master's in Public Health. Now she will make her presentations titled Navigation Path to a Master's in Public Health. Floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariam. So I hope I won't bore anyone with my presentation. So a bit of myself, just briefly. I'm actually, my background is a Bachelor of Pharmacy. And then and recently I just graduated with a Master of Public Health at University of Malaya. For my work experience, I began as an inpatient pharmacist at Hospital Queen Elizabeth in Sabah, which is in East Malaysia. This is Sabah, as you can see. And after that, in 2006, I moved to East Malaysia and I work under Mahtas as a CPG coordinator as well as reviewer. Where I've been involved in developing clinical practice guideline in Malaysia, as well as producing a mini HTAi reports. Okay. Next, I will start with the journey of me getting the MPH. So it all started in 2019, where COVID-19 sparked an interest for me to study public health, actually. So in 2020, I spent a lot of time looking for universities and at the same time started to make some lifestyle changes to save up to pay for my studies. So I applied for a few scholarships. One of it was the federal training grant, which is provided by the Malaysian government for government service to further their studies. But unfortunately, I didn't succeed. Then I found out about the HTAi Educational Scholarship Program through our head of Mahtas, Dr. Izuna. So at that time, my colleague, Dr. Farhana, and I applied it, but unfortunately, I didn't get it, but she got it at that time. So since I couldn't secure any scholarship and couldn't leave my job, so I decided to study part-time. And I thought to myself, because I was funding myself at this time, I could adjust my pace, deciding each semester how much subjects I could take based on my financial situation at that time. So that flexibility really helped me manage both work and study. So the program kicked off in September 2021, and I dove in using my own funds for a few subjects to start with. So then in 2022, I thought I would give HTAi a scholarship another shot. So Alhamdulillah, this time I was fortunate enough to receive it, thanks to the Scientific Development and Capacity Building Committee. And I was feeling optimistic and planned to wrap everything up by 2024. So my master's program is a coursework. So a part of the coursework, I need to do a small project. So as my work revolves around HTAi and SPG, I decided to do a project on adherence of general practitioners to CPG for managing gout in Malaysia. It was a valuable experience that combined my studies with real-world health insight. So a bit about my project. So it's about gout. Despite well-established pathophysiology and its readily available treatment, the management of gout in primary care remain suboptimal, in which less than 50% of the patient are prescribed with the long-term treatment of chronic gout, which is the uric lowering therapy. So only 38% of the patients are being monitored their level of uric level. And at that point, there was local evidence-based CPG was available, and it was recently updated in 2021. And Putrajaya, Selangor, and Kuala Lumpur are the location that I chose to do the studies, as the prevalence of obesity is high in these three places. And obesity, as we all know, is a strong risk factor for gout. And also the studies have found that gout is more prevalent in urban areas, which is the Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya. Next, the results actually showed that 45% of the private general practitioners had good or adequate knowledge on gout. In terms of compliance to CPG, more than 1/3 of the GPs actually followed the recommended serum urate level for optimal treatment of gout, and about 60% of the GP continued urate lowering therapy during the acute gout flare as recommended in the CPG. Based on the findings from the study, we have two main recommendations to address the identified knowledge and practice gaps. And we suggest developing the targeted training programs in which the program should be tailored to address the specific gaps in knowledge and practice highlighted in the studies. By focusing on the areas where support is needed most, we can actually enhance the effectiveness and consistency of the guideline implementations. So, well, to say following this, since last year, actually, Mahtas has been collaborated with Malaysian Medical Association, Academy of Medicine Malaysia, and Academy of Family Physician of Malaysia to organize training for general practitioners on CPG. And just last Saturday, which is on 26th October, a training on this topic of gout was conducted. It was conducted virtually. All the speakers, which are the development group members of the CPG, actually came to Putrajaya to present from our place. And a total of 1,024 general practitioners all over Malaysia registered for this course. However, the Zoom platform that we provided by the Malaysian Medical Association can only cater up to 500 participants. And then I am deeply honored and grateful to have been selected as a recipient of this scholarship, which has provided me with the incredible opportunity to focus on my studies without the financial burden of tuition fees. This support has actually allowed me to fully commit to my academic goal and make the most of my educational journey. The financial assistance also provided by the scholarship has also enabled me to accelerate my academic progress. With the fee being taken care of, I was able to enroll in more subjects per semester, allowing me to complete my coursework at a faster pace. Additionally, the money I would have otherwise spent on tuition fee has been rechanneled into pursuing personal and professional development. I was able to attend a few courses, to be specific, grade and network meta-analysis workshops, which are very relevant to our field. And I would also like to take this moment to express my deepest gratitude to HTAi for their generous sponsorship and support of my studies. I was fortunate enough to be sponsored to attend the HTAi annual meeting in Seville this year. And attending this meeting has actually been an invaluable experience for me. It has provided me with a unique platform to engage with experts, gain insights into the latest advancements in HTAi. Thank you, HTAi, for your unwavering support and for investing in the next generations of health technology assessment professionals. Your sponsorship actually has made a significant difference in my educational journey, and I am profoundly appreciative of the opportunities it has afforded me. I actually look forward to continuing my association with HTAi and contributing to the advancement in this field. Once again, thank you for this incredible opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Siti, for your presentation, for a nice presentation. And now, next speaker, we will welcome Yanga. She's a health economist and researcher, and also an expert in health technology assessment. And now she will present her presentation titled "How Jill Sanders Memorial Scholarship Supported Capacity Building in Developing Countries, South Africa."
Sorry, hi everyone. I was trying to share my slides there, but my network doesn't seem to be allowing me. But so I'd like to share my experience with the HTAi Jill Sanders Memorial Scholarship, right? So I applied in the midway into my master's in HTAi program at the University of Glasgow. And at the time, I I didn't have funding initially when I applied for my master's, but I was like, okay, I think I have a bit of savings, some money stashed somewhere. And I was like, let's do something, let's apply and we'll see what happens. So I applied, and I think for the first year, I was able to pay for my tuition using my savings and so forth, because the program allowed me to study while I'm based in Cape Town, South Africa, right? And then midway, the funds ran out, the savings ran out. And while I was on LinkedIn, I saw an HTAi LinkedIn post that was advertising the Joe Sanders Memorial Scholarship. And I was like, whoa, perfect opportunity. Let me apply and we'll see what happens. And then I applied for that scholarship with support from my organizational sponsor. At the time, that was the university at Glasgow. And with their support, I was able to submit an application quickly before the 15th of October, which is the closing date. And I think by December, I heard a response from them. And this was in December, I believe, December 2022. I heard back from them and was so excited because their scholarship, their funding meant that they'd be able to pay for my tuition for the next academic year. And that was successful. And they quickly, I think around December or the following year, they were able to process the funds, and I was able to pay for my tuition and complete the coursework for my master's program. And now you can imagine the sort of relief that financial support does for someone who's interested, who's eager to learn, who's eager to understand HTAi and be able to transfer the skills and the learnings in their home country, South Africa at the time. And that funding enabled me to do that because I was able to complete my master's last year December. I finished my master's in HTAi, and I went for my graduation this June in Glasgow. But I landed up with attending the HTAi annual meeting in Seville. The support that I received from the organization itself, I don't have enough words to be able to express the level of gratitude, because where I'm from, we have limited capacity for people with HTAi skills or with health economics. So being able to identify, number one, a university that's abroad that's able to teach one in HTAi and health economics, but at the same time not have the funding. So when I got the funding, I was very much relieved, and I was like, this is great because I'll be able to come back and share the learnings with South Africa at the time. And the challenges from my side, I think I was lucky because I was studying part-time while based in South Africa, so I didn't have to incur travel cost or living expenses because I was working full-time and studying part-time, and their support allowed me to, in a way, still be able to save some funds aside for the future. So that was really helpful. And I think also the mentorship that was provided, because I had a mentor similar to Blessing Yani, who was supportive throughout the journey of my MSc in HTAi, someone who I could be able to meet on a monthly basis with and chat and share the challenges of studying part-time long distance and the challenges of navigating a career in South Africa in HTAi, where there's limited opportunities, but there's a need for HTAi. So that was really helpful because with that support, I was able to finish my master's in record time. I was able to go to Seville and meet the people that actually made a huge difference in my life and in my academic career and my career professionally, because with completing my master's, I was able to get a new role as a health economist in South Africa in a consulting organization. And I met other colleagues. I was able to network. I met Blessings and other colleagues from Matters, Hanin, and my lecturers from Glasgow. So the support that HTAi provided me with in my academic journey while at Glasgow, I'm eternally grateful. And I think anyone who's from an LMIC or who's from Africa who wants to study or learn more about HTAi or upskill themselves, they should apply for the program and see what happens. Then you've got nothing to lose if you can just apply, and then the rest will find its way. Yeah, I think that is my experience, and it's been a beautiful one. Thank you to HTAi for this.
Thank you, Yanga, for sharing your experiences with us. And the last speaker, Nebyu, I want to introduce with him. Nebyu took his bachelor's degree in health informatics from the University of Gondar, and also he's the technical officer of the HTAi Information Retrieval Group. And now he will make his presentation, Masters of Public Health and my HTAi Scholarship Journey.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Nebyu, and so I would be taking you through my journey of finding this scholarship, and also I'm the recipient of the HTAi Jill Sanders Memorial Scholarship. So through this presentation, okay, so can you see the next slide? Okay. So I will take you through what I got funded for and how I found out about the HTAi scholarship, experiences and opportunities that it came with it along. And finally, I will be providing you with a funding opportunity that some of you may be interested in. So my MPH that I got funded for was MPH in monitoring and evaluation, and also it has the following courses in it. So I was privileged to take these courses. So it has public health components like biostatistics, epidemiology, and also monitoring and evaluation aspects, like fundamentals of monitoring and evaluation, health economics, economic evaluation, process evaluation, outcome and impact evaluation, and also research methods. So this was the course involved, and the research work was conducted in an implementation fidelity framework. So it evaluated the information system intervention, and it has 3 dimensions: adherence, facilitation strategies, and participant responsiveness was the dimensions for evaluating. And as an overview, this is the program logic model, or the theory of change that was constructed during the study. So without delving too much into the technical details, so I will let you know how I came across the HTAi scholarship. So I consider myself as an international academic. Even though I work in a university in Ethiopia, I would like to consider myself as a contributor to the international community, and also benefit from what the international community or academic has to offer. So I used to search back, because my background was health informatics. I used to search health information technologies. I used to simply Google search and also find different opportunities, and I stumbled upon the HTAi website. And when I look at the website, it has scholarships, and so within the scholarships, so I found out a contact information, and there comes my very first email for HTAi. So this was my very first email for HTAi. So it was an inquiry about the scholarship. So I asked if the scholarship was available, and the response I got, unfortunately, was it was on a period where policy and procedures were being revised. So I was informed to reach out again. So after that period, I kept informing myself about HTAi, what HTAi is, because I didn't know what HTAi was before stumbling into the website. So the more I know about it, the more it makes sense, and the more it becomes in line with my professional aspirations. So After this, I followed the website. I followed social media pages of HTAi, and I started attending, participating in webinars. So this was my very first webinar that I was able to dig from my email. So it was this webinar was prepared by hospital-based HTAi. So it is on rapid review, rapid assessment. So this was an interesting webinar, and it marks my very first HTAi webinar. So I became invested in HTAi, and I came to know HTAi and HTAi more. And after that, I applied and got the scholarship, which opened the doors to a lot of opportunities. So beyond being awarded the scholarship, so the scholarship opened a lot of opportunities. So the first thing was the being able to present at the annual meeting in 2024. Even though I did it virtually, it was a great experience to be able to present my work. And then the next opportunity that came with it was becoming a technical officer of the information retrieval group. So as part of the scholarship package, I was offered a membership to the HTAi community. So this enabled me to apply for the technical officer position. And in this position, I was privileged to work with some of the seasoned HTAi professionals. And I'm still working as a technical officer. And this has given me the chance to give back to the HTAi community and HTAi as a whole. So this has been a great experience and is still an experience that I still appreciate and value. So the next one was a research grant. We won a research grant from McGill University. So of course, this was done with my mentor, Yanni, of course. So we won from McGill University a research grant, and this was again a great experience. With it, there comes participating in a knowledge translation workshop, which was a great workshop, which I learned a lot from. And also, I participated in the Summer Institute in Global Health at McGill University and got not only one, but two participant certifications. And this was a very, very great experience. So it's like a domino effect. So the HTAi Scholarship opened the door for my professional experience and for who I am today. So I hope to learn, I hope to experience even much more from the society and also from everyone around HTAi. So at the end, I would like to invite anyone who is interested in conducting research in child health research grants who have a proposal to apply to this grant. So we have 2 weeks. So if you're interested, so I would like to invite you also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nebyu. And until now, there are 6 questions, I think. And by the way, Nicola answered the questions. And are there any more questions or any contributions? Yes, Antonio.
Thank you, Meltem. I just wanted to clarify, because many of the, first of all, I have to thank our scholarship recipients. I was already aware of their journey, but it's always nice to hear their words. And I hope that they will be there will be an inspiration for others. I wanted to clarify, many of them mentioned Yanni. Yanni is Yanni Mueller. She's the chair of the Developing Country Interest Group. She is a board member, and she is also the chair of the Scientific Development and Capacity Building Committee. She was not able to attend today, but she has been very, I would say, she has been pivotal in the success of the scholarship program, because when I joined the Secretariat 3 years ago, she was concerned about the success of the scholarship program. So she put a lot of her personal time to be the mentor for some of the scholarship. But we have been having excellent experience with other mentors as well. Like Marilia had an excellent mentor also in Brazil. And we are now thinking about reinforcing the mentoring platform, let's say. So each, something that I didn't mention before was that each scholarship recipient is paired with a mentor. And finding these mentors looks a little bit easy, but actually is not, because you need to find the right person that has the time, that has the willingness, that has the passion to assist the recipients in his journey. And sometimes it's just psychological support, perhaps. Sometimes there are real advices that a seasoned professional can give to a junior or to someone that is at the start of their journey in HTAi. That's everything I wanted to say. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Antonio. Is there anyone else? No. So maybe we can close the webinar. Okay. So thank you all for joining us today and contributing to such a valuable webinar. We hope you found the presentations insightful and that they sparked new ideas and connections. Let's continue to collaborate and innovate together. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you at our next web event.